about U.S. presidential primaries.
Yes.
I see some ladies sitting there, giggling. I think we all know the name Donald Trump. We know, Ted Cruz and Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, right? And it's right now down to almost what we call, the straight. After so many debates and campaigns and even insulting, we're actually near the National Convention. I think it's actually held in July this year, right? And the election is actually in November, but the convention actually in July, meaning that they will narrow down to two candidates, one from each party, the GOP and the Democrats. And so far, we have Donald Trump versus who? No. Donald Trump. Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, right? Ted Cruz is actually, I like Ted Cruz better than Donald Trump. I think most of you guys actually don't like Donald Trump. Okay, so that is the GOP, the Republican side of it. And what about Democrats? We talk about Hillary Clinton and who? Who else? Bernie Sanders. Now, these four guys, either one would eventually become the president of the United States. And he or she will actually make history. Do you know why? First female president, if Hillary wins. If Bernie Sanders wins, first Jewish president. He's Jewish, right? And if Ted Cruz wins, who's he? What is Ted Cruz? He's the second generation Cuban immigrant. Okay? Parents from Cuba. And if Donald Trump wins, well, we all laugh about it, this guy's a real dum-dum, isn't he? And he is actually, what we call it, billionaire, celebrity billionaire turned into politics. So, I mean, whoever wins is going to make U.S. history. Now, last thing I want to talk about, I want to test you guys about, we just talk about it, during little small talks out there. Stephen Hawking. What did he do in these last couple of weeks that really shake the world? Stephen Hawking, Mark Zuckerberg, and Russian billionaire by the name Yuri somebody. What is that? Yes, well, it's actually beyond space travel. It's what they call nanocraft. They want to use light particles to propel the nanocraft to get to the nearest star system closest to Earth in 20 years. It's actually 20% of the speed of light. This is incredible. I'm not a physicist. As I just said, you don't have to know all these things, because we are not specialists. We're just generalists, but we do have to know things like this. But if you don't know all these things we just talk about, I think you better put down your textbook for half an hour and start reading newspapers, okay? Is that okay? All right, I think my time is up. I'm going to get Bernard to come in. You guys know Bernard Chen? You guys know this person? We don't know him personally, but you know who he is, right? And if you don't, again, we just talked about the devil. The devil comes in. All right, now, Bernard doesn't need introduction. But anyway, I'll just put it on the screen here. He's actually executive counselor at Hong Kong government.
Nice guy.
A very nice guy, obviously. And Hong Kong deputy to National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China. That's important, okay? And he's also a commercial person. He's president of Asia Financial Holdings and Asia Insurance. So, I mean, if I had to introduce Bernard Chen, it would take half an hour, maybe 10 pieces of A4 paper. So, and we all know, if you want to Google him, please do, to find out, what he does for the community, for the Hong Kong government, for young people in particular.
Now, thanks, Phil, for your introduction. Some of you here are not from Hong Kong, so even for those of you from Hong Kong, you might not even know me, because at this current stage,
everybody knows you.
At this current stage of life, you probably don't need to know me. And to be frankly speaking, when I was your age as a student, I have never imagined myself to become a politician, to be in public service. I grew up in a family with finance. So from very early on in my life, I always wanted to be a financier, a banker, whatever, because everything I come across with is in finance. And Hong Kong, I'm from Hong Kong, and well, my family's, I'm born and raised in Hong Kong, but many of my family members are from Thailand. Not that well, they are Chinese, but they've been, we are 3 generations now, 4 generations, based in Bangkok. So, but we are the only branch of the family actually based in Hong Kong. So always been, I guess, from very young on, I thought, oh, I'm going to be in finance and banking and so on. But things have changed after I went to college. What happened was I became very ill in college. In fact, it was the second week into my first semester in college. I came down with a headache. Now, just the medical story would take half an hour, so I can't afford to give you the whole full version, okay? So bear with me. In short, for the first 3 years in my college, I basically spent 1 semester in college, 1 semester in hospital. I gone through 3 bypass surgeries. I have 5 artificial arteries, 1 to my brain, 2 to my kidneys, and I lost both half the 50% of the function of each of my kidneys since 30 years ago. Last year, I was very excited. You know why I was very excited? Last year, I passed 50 years old. Last year. Thank you. Well, you don't know why are you clapping? You don't even know why you're clapping yet, but let me tell you why. Because 30 years ago, my target is to live to 50 because I didn't think I'm going to make it to 50, right? Because every year, I'm in and out of the hospital. As a matter of fact, as people today ask me too, I say, what's your goal for the future? Today they ask me. I said, listen, for the past 30 years, my goal is the next 6 months. Why 6 months? Because even to today, after 3 months, I have to go see a doctor. And every 6 months, I go to the hospital to get my MRI CT scan to see how my body is doing. The first 10 years was horrible because I really don't know, because every 6 months something happened. The last 10 years has been much better. Things have stabilized. So I don't actually wear so much anymore. But the first 10 years was tough. In fact, the first 10 years, I gone through a period of time where I was in denial because the disease that I contracted was an unknown disease, no treatment so far, and I'm on 5 types of medications. For 20 years, I was on steroids. Steroids have many kinds of side effects, so I'm constantly watching out what sort of side effects I will be getting. So the first 10 years I was in denial. Well, no, sorry, not the first 10 years. First couple years I was in denial, not to accept that this is going to be my life. And then next couple years I was in this period of time where I'm going to be like blaming everybody else. My problem is your problem. It's all you, all my parents, all your fault, your fault. But I was lucky enough that I don't know what happened to me. But somehow, around 10 years, plus and minus, I finally one day realized that, well, I'm not a very religious person. I'm only religious when I need help. But I finally realized that if this is what God has planned for me, then I might as well accept that. And not just accepting it, is to make the best out of it. Rather than every 6 months I worry that, what's going to happen to me, is that I'm going to make sure that every moment of my life is going to be worth it. Now why? Let me tell you why. So I know one of you said you have Googled my name and you found that I actually graduated with a studio art degree. And let me tell you, I didn't choose that. I was telling you I was a finance. I wanted to be an econ major. I went to a liberal arts college and graduated in econ. Sorry, not graduated, majoring in econ. But after the first year, because I had to spend 6 months outside the campus, I had my surgery and I had to recuperate. So, and I didn't think I wanted to, I thought I can still make it back. So I thought, oh, can I take a course that I don't actually have it physically in the college? So I can take it off campus and I can still earn my credit. So I looked for the syllabus, and I found this one subject, studio art. And there's a specific course number called independent study, meaning you can do whatever you want. So I thought, hey, this is the perfect answer for me. Well, little do I know that I end up taking a lot of this independent study because I was, not in the school for a long time. And then upon my 4th year, now it should be the year I graduate, but of course I didn't graduate because I spent so much time off campus. So the 4th year in college is the first time I spent the full year, the 2 semesters on campus. And by then, I have just as many numbers in my econ credit as well as in my studio art credit. Now this is 30 years ago, by the way. Huh? So 30 years ago, if I were to be absolutely healthy, I think my parents will go crazy and go nuts when I tell them I'm going to go and major in studio art. Because I'm sure they will ask me and say, what is it for, right? But because I was so sick, so my parents basically say, take whatever you want. In fact, you don't even have to graduate. Just come back. So they gave me that choice. And then I asked myself, of course I still think econ is my future, but what did I really enjoy? Actually, I kind of like arts. I somehow developed a passion in art during the time I was sick. So okay, let's do that. So today when I look back, I ask, people ask me, what does the art degree do for you? I said, listen, my art pieces will never be qualified to be featured in Art Basel, okay? In fact, forget about Art Basel. It's not even good enough to be in the French club. Maybe not even the French club. Maybe I'm not even qualified to be in Hong Kong U. But it's not about my art pieces. It's the way how I think things. I still remember the first year after I came back from my surgery, and I signed up for an advanced drawing class. And the professor, this is the first time I actually took a class. The professor gave the class a topic, and they asked us to carry on. After 10 minutes, I have absolutely no idea how to start, right? Because the training I had, I didn't have any training before. Whatever training I had was from Hong Kong when I was in high school, and guess what in high school they do to you? The teacher tells you what to do, and they tell you how to do it, right? So that's why when this professor in the US gave me the assignment, asked me to go ahead, I have absolutely no idea. So I went to him and said, sorry, can you teach me how to do it? And he looked at me and was like, are you dumb? And he said, this is your work, not my work. Why are you asking me how to do it? It's your work. God, I know I have to develop the whole thing. I mean, just give me a topic. He'd even tell me which medium to use, how to do it, where. Nothing. Empty piece of paper. And the first time I learned something about being creative. So it's not about how good my drawing is when you go and check it out. It actually helps me is the way to process things. And the skills that I learned then, I still apply it today, not in my artistic world for sure, but it's in my business world. It helps me to stay alive in business, to stay competitive, think out of the box. I'm in the line of business that's super competitive. Everybody is my competitors. Hong Kong is a free city. I'm compete with local, foreign, mainland Chinese companies. How do I stay competitive? I have to be creative. So I use that for my business world. Obviously, I use it for my political world, and so on. So what my message to you is, do not underestimate. Now you may think, oh, I don't know, the stuff I'm doing. Like coming here tonight. I'm sure I mentioned to you, some of you outside is, what is it good for me to come here? Listen to me, listen to Phil. But do not underestimate. I find that every little bit of things, you might not know it today. I told you, my art degree, I never thought I was going to ever use it, but 20 years later, that's what makes me different, because how many people with a business background with an art degree? In fact, that was the reason why the government chose me, because I was different. There are tons of people in business. Tons of people. What makes me different is I'm more than business. So I hope the message I want to give you is, first of all, do not underestimate. Sometimes things happen for a certain reason, and you might think, what's it for me? Don't waste your time. If I used that approach, I would have missed out so many things. And the one reason why I was far more proactive because of my illnesses. Because during the time I was very sick, I have so many occasions where I want to give up. But after I decided, well, life goes on, then I took a different approach to life, and I take interest in every little things I do. And amazingly, all these little things I do today shape the way who I am today. Right? Now, of course, back then I do not have any clue. If you were to tell me today I would be standing here lecturing you, come on. I would never even guess that I would be a politician. I didn't study politics. I studied studio art. The message I want to tell you is, everybody has a dream. I have a dream job. Everybody has a dream job. But let me tell you, my business may be wrong. I mean, this is just my assumption. I think 90% of people don't get the dream job. I didn't get my dream job, but I think I'm pretty okay today still, right? So the question is, if you are the 10% that get your dream job, congratulations, you can leave now. You don't listen to me. But then the rest of us, the 90%, what do you want to do? Do you continue to dream about it? Well, actually, there's only 2-3 options. If you don't get your dream job, the option is, number one, continue to dream. Hopefully it happens. Second option is, okay, I'll get on with life, but I continue to dream. Do something else. Or the third one, which I took, was, okay, I'll move on. And continue to make the best of something else. Because if you don't, what happened was, you continue to dream about something. You're never going to do whatever is good today for you, because you're too busy thinking about something else. You will never get anywhere. You end up neither here or there. In my case was, well, I didn't get what I want. Well, I'm stuck. By the way, I told you I go to insurance. I represent insurance. I didn't like insurance at all. From very young, I thought, I want to be a banker. Banker sounds very good. Insurance, that's a salesman. So I looked down on insurance, and can you believe that it was the insurance that actually got me to Let's Go? Because the opportunity came, and I so happened to be in insurance. Right? By the way, even after I went to insurance, when you go to, when you visit a country sometime, not all countries anymore, they ask you to fill in a column that said occupation, right? You know what I put in? I still put banker. Because it sounds good, right? Until 2008. So for the longest time, just like I was so embarrassed to tell people I'm an artist, I pretend I'm a businessman. So same thing, I was too embarrassed to tell people I work for an insurance company. I write down banker. I was too embarrassed. But guess what? By 2008, after the world financial crisis, you don't want to tell people you're a banker. Well, Hong Kong is still okay, but if you go to America, don't tell people you're a banker. Yeah? The banker in the United States is just as bad as the developer in Hong Kong. Right? So thank God. So now I tell people I'm in the insurance business. I'm an artist, I'm in the insurance business. And by the way, now people say, wow, you're a multi-talent. Back then, not exactly. So things change. But you create that change. You create by you making an effort in it. It won't change because you want change. It won't happen. You have to walk that to make it happen. So the answer I have a student asking me early on. Somebody asked me how to become a National People Congress member representing China. I said, and my answer tell you this, I have absolutely no idea. Right? But because of one step at a time, the 6-month target I had, somehow allows me to get to where I am. I'm pretty sure 20 years ago, I never dreamed to be an NPC member representing Hong Kong in the National People Congress. So my goal, I'm not saying you set yourself a 6-month goal, but because I didn't have a choice. I only have 6 months. So every 6 months, I'll make sure that the 6 months, I make it right. If I don't make that 6 month right, I don't have another 6 months. So my message is, again, you just never know. And you make the right step coming here tonight. Because imagine all the other people didn't come here and they listen to me, you'll miss out. Of course, you were thinking, what did I miss? Well, you don't know now. I hope one day, many years later, you think about, I remember that one lecture I went and there's an idiot out there telling me about, 6 months, baby step, Maybe not, I don't know. So I've been very fortunate. I've been very, that's why when Phil asked me to come, I said I'm very glad to come to share with you. There's more, but unfortunately I have to go tonight, so I can't stay on. But you track my career. It's been fascinating. It goes from one to one, and this is what my wife tells me. There's a phrase. I don't know if you hear this before. It's called Jack of all trades, master of none. That's what my wife described me, because I seem to do a lot of things. I'm not actually very good in anything, but I happen to know a lot of different things. Gone from one portfolio to another portfolio.
Master as a jack. See the point?
Yes. So, but I said, what's wrong with that? We all make differently. We need technicians, we need scholars, we need thinkers, we need people like me too. So each of us serve a purpose.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, you might not know what your purpose is, but you'll find out. Sorry.
Can I ask one question? Because I'm over 70. So you and me, we treasure our time, and I would like to ask that question, which I ask myself also. Each day, we're not past 6 months, but say each day. You treat each day as your last day, or each day as your first day of your life. Yeah, okay, because there are two strategies, right? You see, the last or the first. But I found an answer, and maybe you know my answer.
Yes.
Maybe, but I asked yours first.
Well, I have a different approach to this. What happened was, look at my time. What happened was the night before my surgery, and it happened 3 times because I had 3 major surgeries, and each time right before the surgery, usually the surgeries are first thing in the morning, 6:30, 7 o'clock, they roll you in. So the night before, after your parents are gone, the parents are, say goodnight, and the doctor told them, don't worry, the risk is very low. But still, they were worried. Right? They left, and I was left alone. And they usually clean you up because they have to get you ready for the surgery next day. And I told my parents. The first time I didn't know what to worry about. The second and third time I worry a lot because I have experienced the surgery. The first surgery, I didn't think much of it, right? And after everybody left, I was left alone. Right? I thought, I'm going to go to sleep. And amazingly, that evening, the whole night, I couldn't sleep. Not only I didn't sleep, the whole night, it's like deja vu. All the things I did wrong in my life pops up. I cheated my girlfriend, I stole money from my grandmother, I lied to my mother, and all the things. Amazing, every episode came back. To a point that I started praying. Again, I never pray, right? That night I was praying. I said, God, I'm so sorry. I'm really screwed up. There's so many things I didn't do right. Please, let me live. Let me have one more day. If you let me live tomorrow, I'll make good all the bad things I did. Right? I pray hard. So guess what happened? The next day, I survived. And guess what? I forgot everything I promised. Right? Well, sadly, a year later, in hospital, same scenario, right before the surgery. Gosh, this time I prayed even harder. Right? I told God, I'm so sorry. I promise this time, I'm going to do it. Right? Well, sadly, a year later, more surgeries. This time I was very upset. I said, God, all right, I didn't do 100%. I did 70. Why has this happened to me again? Can't you give me a little break? And that same evening, I told myself, because I knew that's going to happen the 4th time, but lucky didn't. So I said to myself, I was not going to let this happen to me again. When the 4th time comes, I want to feel at ease. I don't want to feel again that I'm like I owe something. I feel like there's so many things that I have not achieved, so many things I owe. I don't want to feel regret. And that's what motivates me every day, because I want to make sure that when the time comes again, I will be at ease. Now, of course, everything I do today, I look at that as my objective, but then again, I think I did it right, but then I will never know until that fourth time comes. And the night before it, maybe, by then, it's only then I realize, oh my goodness, there's still so much things I haven't done yet, right? Like, maybe I should have stayed longer than tonight, who knows? I never know, but at least I want to make sure that I make that effort.
So the first day, actually, it is for you the first day. Actually.
I'll let you decide. You know, which so
you give the answer.
You came here for a purpose, and I hope I mentioned to some of you early on. It's sometimes increasingly it's so difficult for a speaker because we're not here just to give you a lecture. We're here to engage. We make sure that you feel, you know, you have a take-home value. Something when you walk out of this room, you feel you got something out, and I hope you do. And I know you have many more speakers and people from the business that been arranged by Phil. So you might not think it's important, but you never know. You never know. Maybe that will be. I always tell myself, every one person you meet, you never know. Today you may thinking I'm here to give you advice. Who knows? 5, 10 years later, you're the one going to give me advice. So use that as your benchmark. And that's how I continue to keep the momentum, because I do not look down on anyone, because you never know in life. Right? So everyone you meet tonight, maybe it's going to be the most important person you meet in your life. You just don't know yet. Thank you.